let's go ahead and give them an intro to what the topic is concerning today, Daryl, please.
Absolutely. Thank you for allowing me to be here again. But anyway, true compromise involves finding a middle ground that requires giving up what you need, desire, or believe. That's for both parties involved. Anytime any concessions are given in a demand to foster a relationship or to cooperate to make a relationship better, limits and conditions to the demands. So that means you both have to hold that your side up. If you guys are both demanding something for a compromise and meet in the middle or something. And basically, when compromise is enforced, excuse me, you potentially have an imbalance immediately in the relationship. And basically, it's because one or both parties are feeling resentment or animosity. If not, they feeling it now. They'll start feeling it as they continue to do that compromise. It's going to manifest because over time, continuing to compromise leads into personal sacrifice. Because somebody will always say, "I was sacrificing more than the other person," or "I was prioritizing more than the other person." And when that happens, um, most of the time, it's impossible to be real with one another or to be liking that person. Really, really liking that person. Because one person's going to, no matter how you compromise, it's never going to be balanced. Because you're giving up something that you need, you believe, or you desire. So eventually, somebody's going to feel unaccepted. So basically, when you compromise without addressing the underlying issues, what it leads to is dissatisfaction, separation, frustration, animosity, and so on and so on. That's why we don't want to compromise. The world have been telling us for the last 30, 40 years to compromise. Every relationship, you got to compromise. And all these relationships that's compromising are the ones that are having problems. If you talk to a couple or a unit, I call them, that's not having all these compromise or any compromise in a relationship, then I'll get into that later. So those ones are usually having problems because they're not compatible. So once you are compatible in a relationship, you're sharing or have shared beliefs, principles that create a foundation, and that foundation allows and open up for open communication and honest communication. That foundation also reduce misunderstandings and conflict, right? Because you believe in the same things, your principles are lined up, your behavior is similar, so there's not a lot of conflict. So it also promotes meaningful emotional support for one another and empathy for one another. You can't empathize for somebody you don't like. It's hard to do that. Well, I say you can't. It's hard to do that. Also, it's easier when you are on the same page to navigate challenges and work toward common goals. That challenges, I believe, in relationships should be ones you are facing together, not opposing each other. When you're having challenges with each other, you should be reevaluating, assessing, um, and becoming more self-aware. Why are these challenges like this? Because a lot of times it is self. Um, we have to evaluate ourselves because I believe that the healthiest relationships on the planet are those that are most self-aware. So when I'm aware of myself 100%, it allows me to maneuver and facilitate better with myself and with anyone else, another person. Also, being compatible increases intimacy with your partner because you both feel understood and accepted by one another. You guys are. It's easy to share activities. It's easy to share experiences, things like that. It's easy to connect. You provide a stronger sense of what words women love is friendship because when you're compatible, it feels like, man, this guy, he's this, that, and the other, feels like a great friend. Vice versa to the guy to a girl. She really gets me. She understands. So compatibility is something that the world's not talking about. We talk about all this compromise when we should be focused on compatibility. I'm gonna read a quick thing, and y'all can jump in. Well, I can read this later when we read it, or I can finish it right now. I wrote this. It says,
Go ahead.
okay, thank you, sir. It says true compatibility involves aligning one's belief, principles, and behaviors. These things will promote a smoother communication, increase emotional intimacy, in a sense, I said most of that, in a sense of shared purpose, This impacts individuals to promote and support their environment, and it reduces conflict. It fosters personal growth in the relationship and a unity of growth. Shared values and principles and behaviors contribute to deeper emotional connection, and that builds trust, understanding, intimacy, forgiveness, patience. I can keep it going, but I'm gonna cut it short. Bam. The last one is being compatible is recognizing and appreciating the other person and enhancing your own self-awareness to build to continue. Actually, I didn't put continue, I added that, to build a stronger foundation that creates longer lasting relationships. So ultimate compatibility contributes to more fulfilling and lasting connections. And there is one space that you do compromise in. And this is a trip. I actually studied this. So there's one part you do compromise in if you had more than one partner. So that means in your intimate and sexual area in your relationship, that's the only area you may have to compromise in, because we were designed to be with one person. Okay, now, although we designed to be one person, we were also designed to facilitate. We were designed to stay with one person, not be with one person. I apologize. So that means that man was not designed to be with one woman, but to stay with that one woman the rest of that time they're together, their life. So, I know that in the culture we're in, it's healthy to be with one woman, but man was not designed to be with one woman, but to stay with that woman. So that means that, because of that, and because of the culture we're in, if we had one partner, we wouldn't have to compromise on that area in the sex area. I had to help Rob out with that one because I had to miscorrect myself. We wasn't actually designed to be with one, but to stay with whoever we're with. So we got 5 women. We were designed to stay with those 5 women the rest of our lives.